we should be thinking from the very start of our business how we build out multiple channels and how we have a budget to do that. I found this product here and I sold it for this much on Amazon. It's like,
Right.
this is not what it is anymore. AI is recommending you're getting more traffic, and it's still not converting.
Right. It's
So
not.
now we have the data. We can get inside the customer's mind. You're totally missing the point. You're just getting more traffic and less conversions. Don't do that. Stop. Before you optimize for AI, optimize for conversions. The human does not have to be in the loop anymore.
Right. There's a lot that Amazon feels like, again, they're passing the buck kind of back to us as sellers, and they're not making it easy, or they're not, especially with the first thing that I thought of to talk about today, again, for anyone who doesn't know Amy, amazing, amazing mind, helps a lot of new sellers out. And Amy, actually, maybe I'll let you just introduce yourself to those that somehow don't know you. But I want to cover a lot today of how to help new sellers and why Amazon is doing the things that they're doing and speculating on that end. But love if you can give a good brief 30-second elevator pitch about yourself and your company.
Yeah, so hello everybody. I'm Amy Weiss, and I've been selling on Amazon since 2007. So I've been doing this for a little bit of time. I have a military background, and I've lived all over the world. And I, in 2017, I came up with an idea for a product, and I knew I could launch it on Amazon, but I didn't know how to take my product that was a prototype and actually put it on the market. And a lot of people were teaching how to find a product on Alibaba, slap your label on it, put it on Amazon, but no one was teaching how to take a prototype and patent it and go through product development and actually launch a successful business in the marketplace of a new and never seen before product. I thought that my only path was Shark Tank. In fact, I tried out for Shark Tank in season 18. Thank goodness I didn't make it on the show, because I exited that business at the end of 2024, owning 100% of my company. Um, yeah, so during that time of developing my product, I really wanted to help others, because I realized that I was very alone in kind of figuring this out. And in the military, I was a teacher. I was an instructor. So I knew how to take really tough concepts and break them down to a third grade level. And anyway, so that's what became my passion. And I also have a tech background. I was in cybersecurity before I left my six-figure job to do what we're doing now full time. And so I've learned a lot about the algorithms. I'm a total tech nerd. I'm an AI nerd. I get into everything with the best of them. There's not a lot of topics that I can't speak on with authority. And that's enough bragging on myself. But not only do I help beginners, somebody who just has an idea, but I also help 7 and 8-figure brands scale
Mm.
to the next level. So I'm excited to be here and just give as much as I can to the audience.
Yeah, and we've had you on before, so anyone that's a religious watcher of the podcast knows that your episodes are always great. So if you won't do the bragging, I will do the bragging for you. Again, thank you for coming back on. It's gonna be another good episode. I know it. So, um, but yeah, there's been a lot of stuff happening right away, in 2026, whether it be some slight fee increases, whether it be the ending of the FBA prep and labeling services. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that again, it feels like they're putting on us more and more and more. How do you coach, or how would you advise new sellers with this seemingly increasing barrier to entry, always growing? How are you advising new sellers on how to navigate the e-commerce world?
Well, I really think new sellers need to be thinking about omni-channel. Amazon is wonderful because it's going to give you traffic. I was on a coaching call last night with somebody who works in finance and wants to start this business and had a few product ideas. So we were on the coaching call just validating the product ideas. And she said, "Where should I launch this?" And we found one product idea that was really good. And she said, "Where should I launch it?" And I said, "Well, Amazon is great because there's a lot of traffic,
Hmm.
but there's also a lot of competition there, and Amazon is very expensive. So, yes, of course, in the very beginning when you launch, if you don't have a huge budget for TikTok to give out samples, to drive your own traffic to your website, you want to go where the traffic is. So, of course, you want to launch on Amazon, but you don't want your entire presence, your entire sales, everything to be dependent on Amazon. So we launch there, we get started, we expect that we're gonna be spending some money on ads. We make sure that our foundation is good, that we have um, profit, that everything looks good. But at the end of the day, we should be thinking from the very start of our business how we build out multiple channels and how we have a budget to do that. I'm a
Hmm.
very scrappy business owner, so I help people start very in a very scrappy way and grow very quickly. But yeah, I don't think it's smart to go full speed ahead on all of the channels, but I do think it's smart to have a presence on Amazon no matter what. And then maybe depending on your product, you're best to start on TikTok Shop and get those, if it's a very demonstrable product, getting some influencers and giving away some samples and getting the word out, then you can grow and then have the trickle over effect on Amazon. But you don't want to only choose one channel. You really wanna be omni-channel from the very start now. And I would say traffic to Shopify is probably your last resort, right? In the beginning, get some sales going on Amazon, get some sales going on TikTok Shop, and have your website from the very beginning. Have your Shopify or your WooCommerce from the very beginning,
Hmm.
but don't necessarily start running ads yet because your product hasn't been proven, and it really depends on the product. If it's a very competitive product, people aren't necessarily going to buy first from your Shopify store. So it's important to have an omni-channel mindset, but then have a strategy depending on the product and the customer to launch and realize that in the beginning it can be expensive.
No, it absolutely makes sense, especially with the rise of, you see Walmart's doing really good this year. Target's sort of on its way up. That's a little bit more exclusive for people that are just starting out. But yeah, there's a lot of options. You don't have to put all your products in one shopping cart to try and use a e-commerce analogy. Yeah, no, it just again it seems like Amazon, especially like you said, it's very expensive. There is a lot of traffic there. There's a lot of that's where the people are, but it seems really difficult for newer sellers to get in on there. So omnichannel makes a lot of sense in that regard. But yeah, especially if you have a new innovative product that's not on the market or that's not as popular as, oh, I'm going to sell garlic presses or I'm going to sell something. So it makes sense. It makes sense on the Amazon side, even though that they're still, again, they're doing these things. They're making you eat a lot of these costs. And if for what purpose? For what purpose is Amazon not able to say, yeah, we're gonna put these fees on you, the seller, um, to make the customers' lives easier? Maybe, I guess you get it in 30 minutes now. They're trying to say that, but it seems really weird, right? That Amazon is sort of dumping a lot of these fees on the sellers. Am I crazy? Am I
Well,
making that up?
no, I mean, they're doing it because they can.
Right.
And because I think what happened, if we think of it from kind of a corporate perspective, an Amazon corporate perspective, if we look at what led up to this, Amazon was trying to be everything to everyone. They have their own transportation network. They were doing Amazon warehouses and Amazon warehouse distribution. They even started their own supplier network where you could source from Amazon related suppliers. They were trying to be everything to everyone. And what they
Right.
were finding out was that there was a ton of waste and overage at Amazon. So, as far as like the warehouse and stuff like this, everybody was sending stuff in and not everything was selling. So then Amazon had this huge economical problem where, they're getting in trouble with, the environmental protection, agencies and they had to really kind of go, whoa, 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 whoa. We need to place some restrictions on this. And we went too big with this. Amazon doesn't do anything. If you've read the book by Basonomics, Amazon doesn't do anything without a 5-year plan. So, of course, they don't even, their people are not even allowed to pitch something unless it has a 5-year, like, what are we doing with this in 5 years? Um, so I think what happened is they grew all of these things really, really fast. And then they were like, whoa, okay, hold on. We can't be everything to everyone. We need to lock it down. Where is our revenue coming from? How do we grow from here now? And so yes, a lot of fees got passed back to the seller. Reimbursements are a problem now. They've really cracked down on reimbursements. There's more storage fees. There's
Mhm.
just it's really tough, and what that means for the seller is you really need to know your numbers. The number one thing that I see when clients come to me is they do not know their numbers, and not just know their numbers because 'cause they're like, "Oh, my accountant does that." Your accountant gives you your P&L at the end of the year and maybe a quarterly statement. There you need to know what your SKU economics are. What are you selling month over month? Because if you don't understand what your actual profitability is and you don't have goals related to that, you are blind. You're flying blind in your business. So
Yeah.
that's the really important thing, that if Amazon's sending us all these fees and everything, but we don't actually know how much money we're making, then we can't make decisions of, oh, let me work out a deal with my supplier where I can send smaller amounts of this.
Mhm.
Let me think about alternative warehousing solutions. Let me think about now, TikTok is cracking down on fulfilling through Amazon. So let me think about sending my stuff to fulfill, some of it to fulfill by TikTok, some of it to a warehouse, some of it to Amazon. How do I now manage my stuff to make sure that I'm profitable and not just blindly, and that's what people were doing before. They were just blindly, because that's what all the courses taught. That was what we were doing, right?
Right.
Just send to FBA and
Forget about it.
run some ads and pray for
Right.
pray for the best.
Right. Right, it's an interesting revelation, to think about how many, and again, I was not around for this in the Amazon world at least, but, how many people just started a random side hustle in 2016 and said, "Oh, I'll just sell whatever." Like you mentioned in the beginning, people were just saying, "Just go buy something on Alibaba, flip it, drop ship." It's not like that anymore. You can't be hands off, as much as I think, and I wasn't around, but from what I hear from, um,
Yeah.
the more
It definitely was.
experienced,
You used to be able you it was definitely like an overnight millionaire kind of situation.
right,
You could just pick anything, and when I invented my product, that's what was being taught, like, 2017. Between 2015 to 2018, those are, like, the golden years on Amazon where you could
right.
pick a product, slap a label on it, and get it to Amazon, and that sucker was gonna sell, and you made more money than you knew what to do with so fast. And
Mhm.
now it's like, okay, what happened was people started teaching that method, and then sellers flooded Amazon, and Amazon got overwhelmed and said, "Oh, we have all this inventory that's not selling through. We need to start assessing more fees to these
Mhm.
people." And then they saw an opportunity in warehousing, right? So like this whole ecosystem was kind of formed, but the as we all know, when we look at the YouTube videos of, "Oh, I found this product here and I sold it for this much on Amazon." It's like,
Right,
this is not what it is anymore. Now you really do need to know how to run a business. You need to understand your customer. You need to understand not only your customer, but AI and the new way people search for products, people make buying decisions. You need to understand all of that, and you need to know your economics. And you need to have an omni-channel strategy because Amazon is not it anymore. The businesses that I see thriving at 7, 8, and 9-figure ranges have an omni-channel strategy, and they're not just one SKU. They're growing in the right direction. They're really paying attention to their analytics, and they have goals for each channel. So it's really, really important. And so many of the big Amazon sellers that I know, they're no longer relying solely on Amazon. Like, they're making more money on Shopify now or on
right.
TikTok than they are on Amazon.
I was gonna say it's not just the one-stop shop anymore. It's not the only pillar holding up your business. I can't
Yeah.
remember the last time we had a client or anyone else come in here and say, "I just wanna sell on Amazon. Just get me on Amazon." And people will always say, "Oh, I wanna be on Shopify. I want my own Shopify site. I wanna be on Walmart." But, now it's really relevant and really prevalent that you cannot just be on Amazon. You have to move past that. That kinda ties back a little bit to the Basonomics. What was the name of the book?
Yeah, Basonomics.
Basonomics,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. of what's the 5-year plan. You can't just go on Amazon and say, "Oh, I hope I make 10 grand this year." It's no, what's your 5-year stage for this business? So I think that's a very interesting callback, but it makes a lot of sense, from what we see on our end and what happens in the other side of the seller side as well. So yeah, no, it's something that will just continue to keep evolving. We touched a little bit already on AI. I know that was that what you recently just spoke about at um, the BDS?
Lately, I've been speaking a lot on AI optimization because
Yes.
the big thing, AI listing optimization, especially, the big thing that people are missing. So there's all these companies that are offering AI optimization, and that's great. But the thing that they're missing is AI is just going to amplify whatever you optimize for it, right? So if you have an existing Amazon listing, Shopify page, TikTok shop product page listing, right? Whatever we're calling it,
Mhm.
and you optimize that for AI. You're like, okay, I'm going to take this information, these features, these benefits, and I'm just going to make them more conversational. I'm going to add this schema to my website to make sure
Mhm.
it's AI optimized. But your listing is not what customers are actually looking for. You're not calling out the features and benefits that your customer avatar actually cares about. Then you're amplifying the wrong thing. So AI is recommending you, you're getting more traffic and it's still not converting.
Right. It's
So
not
it doesn't help
right.
to optimize for AI if you're not optimizing for conversions first. So that's what I've been teaching. And the beautiful thing about what's happening now with AI is you can more easily get the data that you need to optimize for conversions. And the stuff that we've been doing, I've been copywriting on Amazon. That's one of the services I offer besides consulting, right? And product development help.
Mhm.
But um, the latest listings that I've been doing are seeing incredible results because the data that we're getting. So I have a huge process. It gets about 132 pages of just core data of like, what does a customer think about when they're buying a phone case? I
Right.
just did a phone case listing, and you know how competitive that one is. And at the end of that process, I ran the whole process, asked probably about 50 questions to Amazon's Rufus tool. And remember, Amazon's Rufus is connected to Cosmo, which is Amazon's backend AI, and Cosmo is connected to the rest of the internet. All of the ads data
Right.
it knows. So it doesn't only know what people care about for your product, it knows what they care about in that entire industry and how they make buying decisions. And so I just did a phone case listing. And what I found out was that this brand was selling completely the wrong features. They knew their keywords, right? Like
Mhm.
keywords of this type of phone, whatever, right?
Right.
But not calling out what customers care about and why customers actually bought this particular case. This particular case is slim and it's like a slim profile, but it's also textured. So
Hmm.
it's kind of sticky and grippy so you don't drop your phone, right? And the way that it's built, it actually provides some shockproof, some drop protection.
Right.
And then it's a low price and it has a lifetime warranty. So it's like that perfect sweet spot. You don't want to buy an otter box because that's like super expensive and it's bulky as
Bulky.
shit,
Yeah.
doesn't fit in your pocket, right? But this is, it has protection for your phone. It's grippy, so you can handle it one hand, and it actually fits in your pocket. And it has a lifetime warranty, and it's US-based customer support. None of that was being called out in the listing.
What were they calling out? What could
Well,
they possibly been
just
calling
the
out?
features of it fits this
Oh,
phone, and we have a dual layer protection, and a lot of brands do this, right? Like, it's like, okay, well, we're we have this kind of fancy thing. Well,
right.
most Americans don't read at more than a 6th grade level. So when we use fancy terms, and I do free listing reviews all the time, you guys can go to amazingathome.com and submit your listing, and I'll send you a free listing review of me sharing my screen and going through your listing. But
Mhm.
it's not just the phone case world. Like the good thing about this phone case company is they hired me to look at this, right? So and that's the great thing is like they're looking at it. It's not that they had bad listings and it's not that they had bad sales. But every single business that I've worked with that's hired me to do a listing, they're seeing the same trends. They were making their sales were going up, 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 and now lately, the last few years, slowly creeping down. And they're like, "Where how are we losing this traction? What is going on?" And, I'm picking on my phone case guy, but I've done so many of these listing optimizations now, and every single one is calling out the wrong things. There is not one that I've run this process on that I haven't been like, "Oh my gosh, wow, customers don't care about." I had another one that was a foot roller. And if we went into Zonguru, which is one of my favorite listing optimization tools, and we checked its listing optimization score against its competitors, everything was right. Had all the right keywords, everything. And the listing looked good. Like this guy had used my photographer years ago, and the really great photos. But his background was he's an athlete, he's a coach. So he created a different type of foot roller
Mhm.
and he had all these kind of famous athletes endorse it. And then his pictures showed like an athlete in the gym, like rolling their, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Using
he
it.
was like, this is a better version. But then when we ran this process, we learned it's not athletes buying this. It's nurses. It's people who work in retail.
Mm.
And they don't care about an athlete. In fact, it's actually driving them away from
This is
your listing.
yeah.
They care about, does the doctor recommend this?
Right.
Is this the thing that the podiatrist was talking about? I don't
Right.
know, right? So we were using the wrong recommendations from the wrong avatar. We were targeting the wrong avatar in our pictures. And this is the beauty of AI. Now we can actually find out this information. But if we just blindly go, well, Helium 10 or Zonguru or whatever says that everything's good, and then we pay an AI optimization service to optimize
Right.
what's good, you're totally missing the point. You're just getting more traffic and less conversions. And every single time we've run this process, and I think that's why I keep winning. I've won the last 2 hack competitions, and I took 3rd place at Kevin King's recent event. I think that's why, because people get it. They're like, "Oh, yes." And then when they try this process, you wouldn't believe people are reaching out to me and they're like, "Amy, oh my gosh, the data that I got. I can't believe." It's like have this aha moment where you've been missing out on all these sales.
It's such a weird thing. I feel like sellers the phone case one, I hate to rag on him as well with you, but you would think that that would be the very first thing. The reason he created this phone case for either for himself or just for other people was to solve all of those problems. So it's funny to hear that he
Well,
didn't push
it's
that right away.
it's not obvious though. It's you don't think about why you make a buying decision or what questions you ask when you're making a buying decision because most of the time those are in your head. The difference is now people are asking AI those questions. What kind of phone
Right.
case should I buy? Oh, I
Mm,
like it like this. Oh, blah, blah. So it's not, his listings were not bad before.
right.
They were good. He was making sales. But the problem was he didn't have these insights. Now we have incredible insights that we never had before. Because before, people were going, for example, and I used to teach, put your ads on Google because that's where the customer journey starts. If I'm looking for something, I'm just going to Google what's the best speaker? What's the best for this?
Right.
And so that's what we had before, but there's no way other than to run Google ads and get in front of that person. There was no way to know what they were exactly searching for. Yes, we could look at search volume of certain keywords, and we could assume, because we're getting clicks for those keywords, that those keywords are good for our listing. That's what we've been doing. And it's wrong now because now we have the data. We can get inside the customer's mind. We can actually find out when they type in that keyword, what are they thinking about? How do they make their buying decisions? What questions do they ask? We never had that capability until this moment.
Mhm.
And so we don't want to just skip. We don't want to just listen to everybody selling AI services. And I'm one of them. We don't want to skip that. Before I AI optimize your listing, I'm going to optimize it for conversions because now I have data I never had before. It is incredible. So it's not, you know, it's good you ragging on him, right? But it's he never had this data before. All he
Right.
knew is like, wow, the best selling listings are calling out the following things,
Mhm.
and I changed one image and it made a little bump in my sales. So my conversion is going up a little bit. Now I can find out exactly what photos I should use in exactly the order. I can find out exactly what customers care about, what their thought process is when they're thinking about it, why they buy my phone and why they don't, why they buy a competitor and why they don't. All of that. And it doesn't just come from review data anymore. It comes from the questions people are asking. Remember, when you're talking with AI, it's learning
Right.
and it's talking to everybody else, right? Like it's incredible the data that we have now. And like I think it's like 30% during Q4. I think it was something like 30% of purchases were made through Rufus. 30% of all purchases.
Wow,
So
that's
this
kinda
is like
a
it's
lot more than I
huge, it's
thought.
growing, people are using that. So
Hmm.
it's really big and now people are shopping with ChatGPT, they're shopping with their AIs
Yep.
and it's changing everything. So of course, everybody's preaching, "Oh, be optimized for AI." Don't do that. Stop. Before you optimize for AI, optimize for conversions.
Right. It's it's so funny, I was gonna bring that up too. My mom is amazing. Shout out to my mom, love her. She has gone from look it up, like, not to make fun of her age, but she's gone from look it up at the library to Google it to now she'll say, "I don't know what this thing is," so I ChatGPT'd it. And it's like, whoa, this is a crazy cycle here. We used to talk about all the time last year. I'm sure we discussed in our last episode about being about doing not just SEO but GEO and making sure that you're optimized for all this stuff. But you're right; it's a little bit deeper than that. It's a little bit deeper than just make sure AI says that your product's the best, and make sure you have a Reddit post about how cool your product is, because that's where ChatGPT is pulling a lot of stuff from. So it's like, well,
But guess who's
is
making
that
the
good enough?
ultimate buying decision,
Yeah,
right? You can get
not
all
the
this
AI.
extra traffic to your listing, but then it's still a person behind that going, that's not the exact phone case I'm looking for. No, that's I don't is this foot roller for athletes? I know I'm a nurse. I
Yeah,
just
and,
need something that's gonna work for me.
right.
That's the thing. AI is
Hmm.
not making your buying decision for you yet. And by the way, AI is making some people's buying decisions for them. There
Mhm.
is a way to add things to your cart and have AI add them to your cart. But if you're the nurse, so here's the other thing. If you don't take the time to talk with AI and find out like your avatar is actually nurses, right? And or retail workers, and you never update your photos, AI reads everything in the listing and it connects the dots.
Mhm.
So I optimize my athletic foot roller for AI,
Right.
right? And then the customer who's the nurse who needs the foot roller asks AI, it goes, okay, she says, I really, oh my gosh, I'm on my feet all day. It's killing me. What can I do? And AI says, well, there's a foot roller. It's really good. You can, when you get home, you can do this. Okay, well, what's the best one for me? AI is personalized to you. Do you think an AI is going to recommend this particular foot roller listing if none of the photos represented, if it looks like it's meant for an athletic avatar? It's not going
Definitely
to.
not. Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's what we're missing out on. We're recommending, we're amplifying the wrong thing.
It's fascinating. Fascinating stuff. Um, I know we talked about this on our last episode. I'm still an AI doomer. I'm still a very much it's gonna take over the world. My whatever the Amazon Echo. Well, no, I probably just activated. My Amazon Echo just updated to Alexa Plus, and it's got this weird new voice, and it listens. It just I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but it said something because I said the activation or
Yes,
whatever.
mine is as well. I have one
Yeah.
right here. And she also is on the plus version. I'm not going to say her name. In
Yeah.
fact, I probably should mute her for a second. There we go. Now I can say it. Alexa Plus version. Yes.
Yes, it's very, uh, I don't know. It seems very interesting because I know that's the one specific. That's the first thing I thought of when you said you can add things to cart. because I can say name, search for something on Amazon and add it to my cart or add my most recent order or something like that, and she'll order it and it'll come to my house without me ever having to open the Amazon app. So I'm worried that's a little bit where we're going. I do think if I'm making this up again, I feel like I read a headline a while ago that was something along the lines of AI getting more integrated into that buying process of their, like, you're able to buy things. Like, I remember when they added purchasing Amazon products on Facebook, and that was a huge, huge deal. And I'm wondering if that's going to be, hey, uh, and again, you're still right. It's the person making the buying process. It's the person finishing the buying process. It's the
Yep.
person completing it. Um, but I think it'll be like leading a horse to water and then also making a drink with was where we're going with the AI stuff. Maybe of like
I
here's
think that
yeah.
I think that, yes, purchase decisions can already be made, and you can ask your AI now, like, "What do you recommend for me?" Right? And people are adding to cart. Now ChatGPT has built-in add to cart, so you can now make a purchase there from multiple different sources, so they will help you make that purchase. And I don't think that I do agree with you that we're getting to the point now where we're removing the human from the loop. So, my argument still stands, that if you don't optimize for conversions, you're not going to get recommended by the right. You're not going to get as many sales if mostly nurses buy foot rollers and you know what I mean? So you still need to optimize for that. But I agree that the human is when the last time we talked about this, I'm a very much an AI doomsdayer as well. I recently started vibe coding.
Hmm.
I built an app, my first time vibe coding. My very first time, I built an app in on my lunch hour, published it on my lunch hour, and
An app.
it an app, yes. So I've been doing the Miracle Morning, which is Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. Love the guy, love his
Hmm.
Miracle Morning challenge. So I made my own 30-day Miracle Morning challenge. Well, when I do these challenges, I want to follow the process. So he basically the Miracle Morning um, is where you take time first thing in the morning for yourself. And Hal Elrod, the author of the Miracle Morning documentary and book, he talks about how he researched the most successful people and what they do to maintain their happiness and their success and their motivation. And he came up with the SAVERS, which is an acronym for the 6 things that the most successful people do every day. And instead of just doing one, he does all 6 every morning.
Right.
And so I created a 30-day challenge, but he has an app. His app is horrible, and it's been horrible for years, but it's great because you can get into the app and you can check off like, "Oh, I did my silence. I did
Hmm.
my affirmations. I did my visualizations. I did my exercise. I did my reading, and then I did my scribing." I did all 6 of my savers, right? So it's great, but you can't turn off, like, the vibration. It has, like, a vibration when you click on it's just really like, my phone is always on do not disturb.
Yeah.
I
Same.
don't I don't get notifications, I don't get dings, I don't get vibrations, nothing. And in this app, you can't turn them off. It's really glitchy. So I decided, me and my husband were doing this 30-day challenge together. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to invite the Amazing at Home community to do it for us. I think I'm going to vibe code it out. And so, I mean, here's how I did it. And you can do it too, Pete. All I did is I, yeah, I'm going
I'm
to
gonna make an
teach
app.
you right now. You're going to
Please,
become an expert vibe coder right now.
let's
Okay.
do it.
So, step one, you go to your handy dandy little Grok or ChatGPT or whatever LLM is your best friend, and you go, "Hi, I think that I have an idea. Like, I would really, I do the Miracle Morning. Are you familiar with the Miracle Morning?" And ChatGPT says, "Yes," and it gives me a full write up, and I'm like, "Oh, cool. Well, there's an app for it, and it kind of sucks. Like, and I want to do it for 30 days, and I want it to do this. The current app, it does this, and I want an app that kind of does this. Could you help me imagine that app?" And then ChatGPT comes back and it's like, "Yeah, it would look like this. And I'm like, "Okay, well, I like this. I don't like that, but that's
Hmm.
cool. Okay, yeah. Uh, yeah, I want to vibe code this. Can you?" And I use an app called Buildy to vibe code.
I would say I've heard of
Um,
a company that does this specifically. So yeah.
So Replit, Lovable, Claude Code now does this, um, and Buildy. So I love Buildy because I met the founders at an e-commerce event and they're just really cool. And I love the way Buildy works. It's super easy. But what you have to know about these vibe coding apps is that every time you ask a question, it takes tokens and tokens are expensive. So how is Amy going to teach you to be scrappy today? You just go to ChatGPT after you have that little conversation and you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to build this with an app called Replit, Buildy, whatever, right? Buildy in this case.
Hmm.
And then you give it a screenshot of the app so it kind of understands the interface.
Right.
And then you go, can you write me a prompt to have Buildy build this? And it writes the whole prompt in a language that your vibe coding app will understand so that you're not like having a conversation with it, right? So then you paste it in, you go over to Buildy. Buildy builds the whole thing. It looks amazing. You get to try it out right there before you publish it. You get to like mess around. It was amazing.
Hmm.
Few things that I didn't like so much when I started trying it out. So I went back to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, here's a screenshot. I don't like this or this. Can we fix it? And ChatGPT goes, yeah, let me build the update prompt for you to send that over. Now, the difference is if I would have done that on Buildy, it would have cost me way more tokens.
Right.
It hardly cost me any tokens because I just had ChatGPT do it every time, right? And I'm already paying for that service, so why not? So yeah, by the end of my lunch hour, I had an incredible app with my logo, everything, and actually asked ChatGPT how to embed it into an iframe on my website.
Hmm.
So now I can invite the Amazing at Home community and everybody can do the Miracle Morning Challenge with me. So you can go to amazingathome.com/MMC for Miracle Morning Challenge, and you can see the app that I built on my lunch hour.
I'm gonna pull it up here as soon as we're done. That's amazing. I mean, it makes sense that the AIs would know what the other AIs want to hear. I just found it.
And the thing
I'm gonna
is,
check
like,
this out.
we're at a place now where the human does not have to be in the loop anymore.
Right.
If Amy Weiss can build a better app than a paid app on her lunch break, what's happening to the future of software? What's happening to the future of software development? You know, I
Yeah.
just used it to build, I built websites for people like just by vibe coding. And so you can use that same process. You can build a website no time. So I'm working with a few clients now to do funnels for them. So on their website, I build funnels for people. Conversion optimization is my jam, right? So
Hmm.
if you're not getting the traffic you need, right, that's because you're not speaking to the customer. Your flow sucks. So what's great is you can also use these vibe coding apps to build a visual representation, and you can even publish a website right then and there. And then you can apply your domain on Buildy. You can just apply your domain, so you don't even have to. So I can have it build a whole thing with several pages. You can build a website with several pages with apps integrated, everything. I just built a really cool quiz app for Kevin King's upcoming event that we're about to launch to, help people get discounts and play a fun game to win discounts to his event. And I told him, I said, let's make this fun. Let me vibe code an app that's a fun quiz that people can take, and then they learn about the event and they also win great prizes. And so, and again, I built that in less than I used Manus for that one, and I built a website for him and to do some changes as well as this quiz in less than 20 minutes.
Well, you're not making me any more excited about moving into a future of less AI, which that seems like it's not going to happen. I will leave you with one last thing that I read. I read on the internet, so it has to be true, right? Um,
Definitely.
I saw something where they put like 72, like a millions of AIs together in a room to communicate, and it came up with a bunch of different things of like their own religion, their own country. Like they came up with a bunch of weird, uh, very Terminator style things that I look
Yes.
at that and say, okay, well, we're doomed. That's it. We're done. Um,
So we did
so
it did the I think it was called mod. blog or mod blog, something like that, that
Sounds
thing that
familiar.
you're talking about,
Yeah.
it did come out that a lot of those posts were actually made by humans,
Oh, good.
so they
That's
were
good.
not made by bots, so that's a good thing, but I don't think that we are far from that, and I do think that humans, I was on a podcast yesterday and I was telling, um, the host, we humans are going to need to find meaning in something other than our work because our work and our careers is going to be very quickly replaced. And now we have people building, my friend Tim Jordan's been locking himself in a closet for the last, 6 months and he's been just doing crazy things where he's like all these ideas that he's had in his head, he's building kind of companies where whole teams are made out of AI and he's just been playing with a lot of really cool things and that's me too. That's what I've been doing. That like when I realized that Notebook LM that I could take like all of my conversations and it would automatically transcribe them, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can learn anything. I
Right.
can put 30 YouTube videos from for learning N8N. I wanted to learn N8N. I put 30 YouTube videos, didn't watch any of them, into
Mhm.
Notebook LM, and it synthesized all of them all at once, and all I had to do is ask questions to it. So it literally gave me a learning plan, everything to do it, and then I had step by step, and then I was able to take that guide because Notebook LM is closed.
Right.
It only uses what you add as a source and its own knowledge to help you.
Mhm.
But then you can take that guide because it's very pointed and you can put that into like ChatGPT and say, okay, I want to build an app based on this. You give me the code for it. And then you can take that code and you can put it into like Replit
The
or
Buildy.
Buildy. And
Yeah.
it just, to me, the possibilities are endless, but also what happens now with super intelligence when you no longer need the Amy.
Right. When it's just doing that automatically because it's I don't wanna say a
Yep.
means to an end or it's trying to accomplish something, but it's
Mhm.
it's scary. It's a little scary. I won't even say it's interesting because it's not scary. But it is w w I would be curious to see where this wave takes us, to see where we are, end up in again, back to
I
Basic
think it's
back in
important
5
to remain
years.
grounded and know that, like, especially for us business owners, it's more important than ever right now to be the bank and not the banker.
Right.
And I think we're in a very good position, having our own businesses because people still need to buy things. Now, we consultants who trade our time for money, we may eventually be replaced and, that's fine, but we need to build assets. And this is what the rich have been teaching and doing for years is buying assets that pay them so that they don't have to go out and work for those dollars. And so buying or building assets that pay them. So you guys in e-commerce are listening to this podcast right now. People are still going to need to buy things and if you're the owner of that business, I don't know about resellers, but you're probably going to be replaced because AI can resell probably better than you can.
Right.
But if you are a private label brand owner and you are bringing new products to market, doesn't matter how fast you bring them to market, how cheap they become because of automation. If you are the owner of that business and people still need that product, you are in a good place and you still have an asset. So I would just keep focusing on that. And if you're not in that place, then I would start looking for how do I really start investing in assets that are going to protect me long term.
Right. I think we'll end there. That's a good way to end there, a good quote to end on. Um, yeah, now I gotta go rethink a lot about AI and about what's happening, so thanks, Amy. I appreciate you being a guest, as always. You always manage to make me think about things that I wasn't planning on or wanted to think about, which is a good thing. I should be thinking about this stuff, but it's very scary. But yeah, so I really appreciate you being another guest. I will have your website along with a 30-day challenge, the Miracle 30-day Miracle Challenge, Savers
Miracle
ch
morning. Yep.
Miracle Morning. And then your LinkedIn along with the homepage, linked down below in this video. So make sure all of you watching to check that out. Join the challenge. I might check that out. That sounds like something I should be doing. I think I do a few of the savers, but I think I could be doing better. Um, My fiance and I sometimes would like to just stand outside in our bare feet to do a little grounding in the morning,
I
and
mean, it's so
that's pretty good.
wonderful.
It's been a little cold, so that's tough. Even down here in Florida, it was cold for the last couple of weeks, but yeah, we'll check that out. But yes, I'll have all that linked down below. And really, again, thank you so much for being an amazing guest.
Thank you, Pete, for having
Yeah, of
me. It
course.
was great. Thanks, everybody, for
Yeah,
listening.
I stole my line. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm your host, Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.